you know, we were sort of joking the other night and told him, you know, get us some more money. And he said, well, we'll try next year, so you got it for us already.
Well, I do try.
I thought you said next week.
Okay, so just to explain a little bit to you about what's going on with the project. At our last special call meeting, we added another, I can't remember exactly, $40,000 or $50,000 to the total project. I went back to them and told them that we actually needed $186,000 to finish the project on top of what we had already spent. They understood that to be added to the original contract sum. So the United States Department of Agriculture was very cooperative and agreed to give us the additional funding that we were looking for the project. They have increased the total amount of funding available for the stream debris creek cleanout project from Millington to $463,000, $463,648.74. The City of Millington's portion of that project would be 10%, and that would be $46,364.87. So with the additional funding that will be provided, if you'll take a look at your maps, as noted at the last meeting, we completed the cleanup on North Fork Creek and also a section of Royster Creek. Both of those areas are shown in green on the map that you have. Work had begun on Big Creek, and Big Creek, the section of Big Creek that will be completed by the end of this week is shown in orange on your map. Work is progressing nicely through there. The area that's outlined in blue there to the left is a section that will be completed next. That section cannot be done by the amphibious track code because there's armament in the ditch at that point, and the track code cannot move through that section. So that section will be cleaned from the top of the bank, and then they'll be moving to Royster Creek at Shelby Road and progressing north, and we anticipate that portion of the project to be completely finished. The hard deadline for the project is September 30th, and work is going nicely. Like I said, Hayes Patrick is managing the project and inspecting it for me, and he's doing a great job. Hayes, do you have anything you want to add?
Just moving right along.
Okay. If you'll notice, there is one section of Big Creek there that's outlined in blue to the right of the orange line. The amphibious crew has attempted to get in there. The creek is too deep and the banks are too steep, and there's hardly any access in that area at all. That is a portion of the project that we don't think will be cleaned at all during the project. If we can get a land crew over there to complete that section and we finish up on Royster Creek and we have some time left, we're going to do that. But otherwise, that's the only section of the entire project that should not be complete by the deadline. So we'll have the two items for you today, the revision for Amendment 1 and also the contract change orders.
All right, first, Derek, do you have any information about that specific area there, and if they're unable to get in there, how that will affect future potential flooding issues there? I mean, you know, that's a pretty visible area that everybody drives over and looks, and I know myself personally, I drive over there and I'm looking to see when they're going to get there and clean that up. And if you say they're not going to do it, and I want to know if it's going to, how much it might affect. Yeah, it's right there at the bridge at Raleigh Millington, just north of Barrett there, correct?
Um,
I mean, that's right there
yeah,
where the entrance to the new,
right, it's in between the railroad tracks and, and the mouth of Northport.
Right.
That's Yeah, and once again, they can't drive the amphibious track hoe under the bridge there at Raleigh Millington Road because the tracks on the amphibious track hoe are polymer based and they can't run over the rock, so they couldn't do that. But they actually did try. They put the amphibious vehicle into the creek there in Big Creek and attempted to head west. Is that right, Hayes?
Yes.
And they couldn't do it. I mean, we got a video of them, but when they tried to pick something up, there was no ground there that they could even stabilize themselves on to pick up anything.
Would that be impossible to do it by hand?
I wouldn't say it would be impossible.
Like if we could get some prisoners or something, do it by hand?
well, you made mention of the fact that they could get a crew down in there, right, if there was time available.
Well, what I said was if we have access, if we can get access through that area with a land-based crew, like a track hoe along the top of the bank, like we've done everywhere else, and if we have enough time at the end of the project, we're going to do that.
But I guess, but I still don't have an answer to my question.
Okay, which was
What
what?
was how this might affect
Oh, yeah.
future
I'm sorry. Yeah.
the issues here, because I mean, you can drive down there and you can look both ways, and you can see snags and you can see trees of substantial size in the creek there. So,
Right.
I mean, I know that was their kind of the mission of this whole deal was to remove
Yes,
those.
it's bridges. That's right.
Especially around bridges.
Right, especially around bridges. Yeah. Now, is everything in Millington going to flood because of that one little section of creek? No.
But
The
what
answer to
about,
your question
what
is
about
no,
the
but-
effect it can have on a bridge, that debris that close to it? Not the flooding, but the bridge itself.
Yeah, I mean, it could, but when you look at the overall scheme of things, Mayor and Jim, Big Creek goes all the way east up through the Navy base, and none of that was cleaned either. So, I mean, just that section of Big Creek is not going to be clean. It's almost as if we're starting right there at Raleigh Millington Road Bridge and heading east with Big Creek out to Highway 51. So, I mean, does it need to be cleaned? Yes, and we would like for it to be cleaned, and we're going to do it if we can. But at this point, it's kind of like it's more trouble. I don't want to say more trouble than it's worth, but it's at this point, it's not been a feasible section of the creek to do. At a later date, it might. Yeah.
If we concentrate our efforts on that one spot, it would have to be cabled out, which with 2 weeks left in the project, I probably could get just that section done and would not get any of the oyster from Shelby to Cuba Millington, or actually West Union. So we're trying to get as many linear feet of the project done as possible.
That's something that maybe you get funded for next year.
Yes, sir. Well, yes, sir. Just as we said previously, we'll continue
Find some money
to.
next week, Mr. Crothers. That's why you work.
Yeah, like that.
Okay, so first on the agenda, we need to get a motion and a second to approve amendment number 1.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on this amendment? Roll call.
Mr. Barger?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Carruthers?
Aye.
Mr. Ford?
Aye.
Mr. Lowry?
Aye.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.